When it comes to water tanks, it's something that everybody needs in their home, but they can look a little bit unsightly. In this DIY, we're going to show you an example of how we can disguise this tank and actually also make it look into an attractive feature in your garden. Now I'm going to put some trellis around the outside, and I'm going to plant some plants around the outside to grow up on this trellis. Now, when it comes to plants, I know nothing. So I'm going to get some advice of what plants to get from my local store.
Andrew.
Tanya, thank you for joining me.
It's such a pleasure.
I need your expert, simple, basic advice.
Well, the tank's looking really sexy, but I know we could make it even look sexier with a whole lot of soft plant material. So you've mentioned the trellis, which is fantastic. And the thing about trellis is that sometimes, it can look also a bit hard on the eye. So ideally you want some climbing plants around here, and choose the same thing. You don't want one and then a different kind and then something else.
Okay.
So you want the same thing, ideally 3 plants, because they would easily take up this 900 to 1 meter.
Okay.
Something like star jasmine would look beautiful. It can grow anywhere in South Africa. Personally, climbers, hedging plants, you're going to get that beautiful softness. Plus, always remember, you still want access to your tap. I'm looking at your soil here, Andrew.
Yeah, it's not looking too good. It looks more like the remains of an ex-building site.
And that always happens whenever you're working with slabs and stuff. So really importantly, you want to get all this rubbish soil out. Literally the only way I can describe it. Dig nice big holes for each plant. The standard rule for each plant is double the depth of the planting bag, double the width.
Okay.
Get rid of this soil, put in some compost that you get in a bag. All right. Handful of bone meal and some good organic planting pellets, and away you go. The safety factor when you buy compost from your local builders is that it's been composted properly.
Okay.
There's no room for error.
And weed free.
And weed free, of course. Doesn't come in the bags free.
Okay, so simple. I'm going to take out all this rubbish soil, put in some good compost afterwards, and plant my plants at least double the size of the bag.
Correct.
Okay, and keep the plants matching. Don't have a whole rainbow of different plants.
100%. Remember, don't ever forget your bone meal. If you've got dogs, rather use super phosphate.
Okay.
Bone meal attracts and the dogs go to the smell. Super phosphate does exactly the same thing. Mix it nicely in with your compost, and the rest is sitting back and waiting and watching them grow.
Okay, and as for watering of these plants?
The watering initially, when you've put them in, give them a good deep watering.
Okay.
We recommend, with the lack of water in South Africa, is rather infrequent deep watering.
Okay.
So you make your plants tough.
Okay.
So it's infrequent watering. So I would do once every week when it's really, really hot, max twice a week.
Okay, Tanya, I'm confident that I can actually do this without messing it up. So thank you so much for those tips, and I'm going to get started.
Good job. Good luck.
Thank you. In this DIY, we're going to be disguising this tank making use of some trellis. This is a standard trellis, which is 900 by 1.8 meters high. I'm going to be using 4 pieces all the way around, which I'm going to be screwing together. I'm also going to seal this trellis with a wood sealer. This trellis is CCA treated already, but we're going to seal it with an Mbuya wood stain. That'll change the color to suit my surroundings, and at the same time give that additional protection to this trellis. Not only is the trellis going to create a nice feature around the tank, it's going to act as that climbing frame for some plants to grow up onto the side. I'm using a spray gun to apply this wood sealer. Now it is quite thick, so I need to thin it down, and I'm going to be using some water since it's a water-based wood sealer. I use approximately 10%, that should be enough, and it should flow easily out through my sprayer. You can do it the old-fashioned way with a paintbrush. It's a lot of work, a lot of PT, and it's going to be time consuming. When using a spray gun, ensure you're doing so in a well-ventilated area. Make use of a mask if necessary. I put 3 coats of wood sealer onto this trellis. It's definitely going to prolong the life. Now when it comes to installing it, I'm going to screw them together, but this is the case where you need 3 pairs of hands just to hold everything together, and then when you let go, everything falls down. So I'm going to hold into place and temporarily secure each corner piece with a cable tie. To secure the trellis ends, I'm using a self-cutting screw. My last panel is actually going to be a door, so I can open and close this cubicle. All I need to do is put on my hinges, and then we're nearly done. My trellis door is now on, and I added in a little crossbar across the top just to give it a little bit more structural support. All I need to do now is close the door, and let's get started with the planting. I'm going to take out all this rubbish soil, put in some good compost afterwards, and plant my plants at least double the size of the bag. Remove the stick and stem and slowly and gently twine onto the trellis. There you have it, my structure is complete. I've got this framework around my tank and I don't have this unsightly feature in my garden. It also doubles up as a growing structure for these creepers on the front. If you enjoyed this DIY, like it, share it. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel where we have a range of DIYs and product evaluation just like this.